like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10, let's turn to Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no complaints out there right now, Tom. Everything's moving pretty nicely right now. We had some overnight road work westbound 64 between K and Wing Haven. Periodically, I see some slow stuff out there, but it looks like both lanes are open through there. So I'm thinking it's just maybe folks looking at the flashing lights. But, this time of day, it should be going eastbound 64 where you'd be seeing the volume and the delays. And right now, there aren't any going eastbound. So, again, I'm seeing 2 lanes going both ways. Just west of K right now. So just a little bit of a slowdown indicated there as there was a few minutes ago. Still don't see any delays right now. Again, expect some, though. Westbound 64 just past Route 4. That emergency repair works continuing through tomorrow afternoon or in the 3 p.m. hours when they expect to have that wrapped up. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, we have a heat wave starting today that will last through the weekend. AccuWeather real field temperature will be near 100 each day. Mostly sunny today, rather hot and humid this afternoon, high 92. Patchy clouds, warm and humid tonight, though 72. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, hot and humid, high 94. For Friday, sunshine and some clouds, hot and humid, the high 96. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. Right now it's 66 in St. Peter's, 70 in Florissant. We have 68. Clear skies downtown at the Arch. And the weather is sponsored by Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life. Rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, and motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peter's, chucksboots.com.
It's 6:12. The search continues this morning for the suspect who set cars on fire in Clayton. The fires were discovered around 3 o'clock yesterday morning along Westmoreland Avenue. 2 cars on the street and 1 in a driveway were set on fire. The FBI is involved in the investigation. It is being investigated as a hate crime.
St. Louis public schools could run out of money by 2031. That's according to a new scathing state audit. The audit gave the district the lowest possible performance rating. Most issues center around excessive spending. This is the first of 2 audits planned by the state auditor's office.
A warning from the Better Business Bureau about Club Car Wash. The alert comes following hundreds of complaints from customers about vehicle damage and trouble canceling memberships. Club Car Wash, which has several locations across the St. Louis area, currently has an F rating with the BBB.
A St. Louis County suburb is in the national spotlight after being named in the top 10 hottest zip codes for home buyers. Realtor.com released the list based on demand, affordability, and convenience. Baldwin came in 4th, specifically the zip code 63021. This is the 3rd year in a row Baldwin has been recognized in this list.
The American Cancer Society says colonoscopies on people aged 45 to 49 increased by 43% from 2019 to 2023.
CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook says these tests are finding cancer cases earlier when they're more treatable.
So it is really an amazing thing to be able to not only diagnose the polyp, but at the time of the procedure, take the polyp out and prevent somebody from getting cancer.
The recommended age to begin colorectal screening was lowered about 5 years ago from 50 to 45. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Meanwhile, new research suggests screen time also affects physical health, not just mental.
The study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association says 10 to 18-year-olds who spent more time on devices were at higher risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and insulin resistance. The association's Dr. Amanda Marma-Perrick says those kids moved less and slept less. Coding or doing research on screens can be beneficial, but not more passive activities.
Like social media, YouTube, and those kinds of short videos.
The researchers found 10-year-olds are on devices 3 hours a day on average. 18-year-olds are on them 6 hours a day. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
6:15 and time to talk some sports. Unfortunately, for any Cardinals news, it was not the best. Cardinals got hammered yesterday, 12-6, Matt Pauley.
Nolan Gorman is trying to take advantage of the opportunity with Nolan Arenado on the injured list. In the Cardinals' 12-6 loss to the Dodgers, he collects 2 hits, a 425-foot home run, and a hard-hit line drive single up the middle. Manager Oliver Marmol is seeing progress from Gorman.
Really good swing, and then I like the other one where he's just stayed on it over short there. His ability to do both is important and not just get to the point where there's swing and miss or homer. So his ability to both of those at-bats I really liked.
Gorman is on a 6-game hitting streak where he's hitting .364 with an OPS above 1,000. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
He was the Cardinals' third baseman yesterday, Matt. The Dodgers' third baseman had a day. Max Muncy hit 2 home runs, one of them off Miles Michaelis, and then another one. He was 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored. He hit 2 home runs off Michaelis, one in the first, one in the third. He went back-to-back with Teoscar Hernandez, who cracked one in the third as well. And then Hernandez would go on and hit another home run off Andre Granillo. The Cardinals bullpen was shook up yesterday after Michaelis went 3 innings, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits. Matt Swanson actually had a nice outing. He came in and saved the day for a while. 2 scoreless frames, no walks, 4 strikeouts, just a hit allowed for Swanson. His ERA is 2.76. Cardinals like him a lot. He's going to get some high leverage situations here pretty soon. Gordon Graceffo pitched a scoreless inning, but then Ryan Fernandez got lit up. Game kind of sped up on him, gave up 3 runs in just a third of an inning, and Granillo, as I mentioned, gave up the Hernandez second home run and 4 runs in total. The Cardinals drop it 12-6. They play a day game today. We'll have it for you at 3:10. Matthew Liberatore is on the hill. Look who's pitching for L.A., Shohei Ohtani. 2:15 pregame here on KMOX. The Brewers beat the Braves and the Cubs lost to the Reds. The NL Central right now is owned by the best team in baseball, Milwaukee. They have a 4-game lead in the division. Won't be long. College football will be here. Illinois will open the season on Friday night, August 29th. And Steve Kelly, who's been following them for about 5 decades, WDWS radio in Champaign, says things are looking up for the Illini, no doubt about it.
I think the key is this year is how many toss-up games there might be. Last year, Illinois was 5-1 in one-possession games. That doesn't happen too often in any one season, and you can't count on that happening all the time. So I think those are motivational items for Brett Bielema to not to let the guys get too much of a big head going into the season, but certainly they've got a lot of guys back led by Luke Altmaier, and they've got to find a couple of receivers, I think, but the expectations are certainly high. Highest I can remember since back in the Mike White, John Mackovic days.
In fact, the coaches poll is out, and Illinois is ranked 12th in the nation. The AP Top 25 will be out shortly, but Illinois number 12. The top 10, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame. The second 5, Clemson, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and Miami. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM. KMOX, and the Inside Pitch was sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
Hi, it's Margaret from Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. I've worked with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano for more than 30 years. Their guidance and assistance with my estate planning and legal documents gives me the peace of mind that I have the retirement I've worked for and always dreamed of. And I'm playing it fully with my grandchildren, volunteering, and traveling worldwide. I play confidently knowing my estate is secured in any event. You can get your estate secured with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano too. Visit their website, yourestatemasters.com, and download their free webinar on how to get started. Then make a free appointment. Your estate matters because you matter. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestatemasters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be made solely on advertising.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing immunotherapy and how an innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Joining us is Dr. John DiPersio, WashU Medicine bone marrow transplant specialist with Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. DiPersio, it's great to have you on KMOX.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Your international immunotherapy clinical trial at WashU Medicine. Could you tell us about that?
Instead of using one patient's T cells to treat their own lymphoma, costing $1 million, in this situation, you can use a donor's T cells to treat multiple patients. So it changes both an approach to these diseases, but also the economics of these complicated and expensive immunotherapies.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:20. Roger Brand watching the roads on this Wednesday morning from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things look great out there so far this morning for everybody, Scott. This traffic report serves a Jack in the Box if you're on westbound 64, heading through Route 4. The emergency repair work not causing any backups as of yet. Overnight road work got picked up 64 between K and Winghaven. Things look fine through that area. Don't forget, tonight they're going to be doing overnight work westbound 64 on the Boone Bridge, the westbound superstructure. They're shifting that lane that's on the left-hand side of the westbound bridge over to the right-hand side of the bridge. So they'll have restrictions from 7 tonight till 5 tomorrow morning. And during that time, they'll also have restrictions on the Chesterfield Airport road ramps leading onto westbound 64. Obviously, they'll have those shut down during that time. But like I said, right now, we're good to go in the work zones. No delays, 55 McNutt or north of Bayless, 270 Ladue to 64, both directions. Everything is moving smoothly. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
It's going to be a hot few days here. A heat wave starts today, lasting through the weekend. AccuWeather real field temperatures near 100 each day. Mostly sunny, hot, and humid this afternoon, high 92. Tonight, low 72. Tomorrow, high 94. Just heat and humidity all weekend. Highs all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 96 degrees. Currently, it's 68 in Florissant, 68 in St. Peter's, clear, and 67 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:22. A new breakthrough in regards to Alzheimer's. CBS Mornings has the details.
More than 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, and a diagnosis can be devastating for patients and their families. But hope could be on the horizon. New scientific breakthroughs in detection and treatment show the potential to slow the decline if it is caught early. This is so exciting. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. John LaPook, is here with what you need to know. But first, here's a look at one family's experience.
Oh, my, Marty.
Carla and Marty Miner have traveled the world together, married 44 years.
Look how young you look there.
They recently visited Bhutan.
We have a great time together.
3 years ago, Marty noticed Carla occasionally repeated what she'd already told him.
I didn't know if it was stuff that's happening because we're getting older.
A neurologist diagnosed Carla with Alzheimer's.
It was horrible. You know, I'm not going to have that. I don't want that.
Some patients and physicians have been reluctant to diagnose Alzheimer's because there have been few treatment options.
Are things different now because there finally is a medication that could potentially make a difference?
There's finally a medicine that you can show is different from placebo.
Dr. Sam Gandy, a professor of neurology at Mount Sinai School of Medicine, offered Carla a drug called Leqembi. It's an intravenous infusion of one of 2 drugs approved within the last 3 years to treat the disease. It removes plaques in the brain called amyloid, a protein associated with Alzheimer's.
So the red blobs are where the amyloid is.
Dr. Gandy has done consulting for the company that makes Leqembi. In patients with the early stages of Alzheimer's, studies showed the drug slowed mental decline by about 30% after about 18 months. Both treatments carry FDA black box warnings on the risk of swelling and bleeding in the brain.
Occasionally, there will be some swelling in some cases to the point maybe of even some bleeding. So we do surveillance MRIs regardless of whether there are symptoms or not.
How does that feel?
Carla Miner has had 7 infusions over 5 months. It's too soon to tell if the treatment is working, but she's currently independent, enjoying time with her husband, and still able to channel her favorite singer.
I know all the lyrics to a lot of those old rock and roll songs that I used to listen to.
You ain't nothing but a
hound dog.
All right.
I'm hopeful. I have a wonderful life. We've just been very, very lucky. Hopefully this will be lucky too.
I love that, John. That's so good. Dr. LaPook, good morning. Good to see you. So this sounds like for the first time that there is hope for people suffering from this.
Finally, right? For years, people didn't even want to know. I'm an internist, as you know. My patients, everybody's frightened of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But do you want to know what can you do? Now, finally, if you diagnose it early enough, it looks like there's something you can do. In these studies, you could slow the rate of decline by about 30% at 18 months. And I'm telling you, I just got off the phone here for CBS Mornings Plus, exclusive with Dr. Sam Gandy, fresh from the meetings in Toronto. And he told me that the longer data from not only at 18 months, but 36 months and even longer showed just as good, in fact, maybe even better result. And there's something else that they're doing, which they're finally able to diagnose this using a blood test.
That was going to be my question, because a lot of people don't know what's happening until it's almost too late. So is this going to be a regular practice to test people's blood for this?
Well,
at a certain age?
Millions of questions, who's at high risk?
Yeah.
Who do you test? Are there false positives? Are there false negatives? How, is it covered? All that kind of stuff. But basically where they're going is that, look, it looks like the earlier that you make a diagnosis of this, the better chance you have to intervene. The changes in your brain begin 10, 20, 30 years before you may have symptoms, right?
Whoa, don't say that.
Well, what Dr. Gandy told me is that what we're headed towards is a series of cocktails. So you're seeing them go after an abnormal protein called amyloid. That's a gooey thing that covers the nerve cells. There's another protein called tau, T-A-U, that's inside the cells. There's also inflammation that goes on. And I think what we're going to see in the future is a cocktail, not just one approach, of something that attacks tau, something that gets rid of amyloid, and something that it decreases inflammation in the brain. And how do you do that? Aspirin doesn't get past the blood-brain barrier, so new medications that can do that. I'm very hopeful for the first time in like 19 years of covering.
That is very, very cool. Dr. John LaPook with that great news. Yeah, thank you very much.
That from CBS Mornings. The time is 6:27. Your time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Whether it's a national sales meeting, a company rebrand, an employee engagement strategy, or a new communications campaign, you need a team to help make that happen for you. And that team is the Nitrous Effect. They help you speak to the head and the heart of your most important audiences, your people, your customers, your community. You want to integrate AI into your messaging? The Nitrous Effect can help that. Think of them as your full creative pit crew. If you're planning a high-profile gala or an executive summit, this is your crew, the Nitrous Effect. Fast, focused, and built to win. They're proudly based in St. Louis. The Nitrous Effect proves you don't need to go to the coasts for world-class thinking. They bring the horsepower and the heart, and they're right here in our own backyard, the Nitrous Effect. Specialty agencies working as one team, driving real results. Their phone number is 314-615-6583. But why don't you get yourself started at nitrouseffect.com, nitrouseffect.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence, Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
At 5:30, we have mostly clear skies and 68 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, just a couple of minutes ago, we had word of a crash, a vehicle that struck the median wall on eastbound 44 around Pacific. Sounds like they already moved over to the shoulder, so it sounds like a minor crash, and I don't see any delays through there, so that's the good news. Northbound 55, I don't see any delays south of 270 coming up from McNutt, but it is just a touch busy between Bayless and Weber. North 270, as you get on from 55, is a good run up past 44. Looks good both ways, running through Ladue. Eastbound 64 and 70 coming in from the split out Wentzville way across the Missouri River bridges go okay. Downtown, you've got some slow traffic on the Illinois side. A little bit of a slowdown now westbound 64 just west of Route 4 and that emergency work zone they've got set up. And then it's a little slow after that, just crossing the Poplar Street Bridge into downtown. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thanks, Roger. We do have a heat wave starting today, and it's going to last through the weekend. AccuWeather real field temperatures near 100 each day. Actual temperature this afternoon with a lot of humidity, 92, overnight 72, then 94 tomorrow, 96 on Friday and Saturday, 96 on Sunday. Right now it's 68 in St. Peter's, 71 in Florissant. We have 68 downtown at the Arch.
It's 6:32. Someone torched 3 cars and sprayed anti-Semitic graffiti on a street in Clayton early yesterday morning. Clayton police say it was a targeted message towards someone who lives on Westmoreland Avenue. The FBI is joining the investigation because it is being considered a hate crime. No one is in custody, but police believe they are only looking for one suspect. Corporal Jenny Schwartz says they'll need the public's help to catch whoever did this.
We are asking that anyone that does have a video from around that time frame or in the neighborhood to forward that to our detective bureau, and they can reach our detective bureau at 314-290-8414.
The Jewish Federation of St. Louis says they are a resilient community and will not be deterred in their quest to uproot anti-Semitism and hatred. The statement goes on to say, quote, alone and with our partners, anti-Semitism is a social ill that must be rejected by all of society. The Federation says this crime is far more than an act of vandalism. Clayton police seem to think that they know who they are looking for. The suspect struck in the wee hours of Monday morning on Westmoreland Avenue. The Federation continues with, they will continue to invest in protecting synagogues, schools, and community spaces through their community security team and other activities. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
In other news, soybeans are helping to fight fires.
The Boone County Fire Protection District is the first in Missouri to use a new, greener fire extinguishing foam made from soybeans. Assistant Chief Gail Bloomingcamp.
It is the first green screen gold certified foam, firefighting foam on the market. It's biodegradable, and in order for it to be considered biodegradable, it has to degrade to 60% within 180 days.
He says it breaks down in only 18 days, and it won't hurt your garden.
When it does biodegrade, it turns to nitrogen. So even good for the plants and the earth.
And all the bad chemicals that cause cancer in other firefighting foams, it won't be found on the ingredient list for soy foam. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We'll check your money report next. Tom Ackerman for Busey Bank and Building Community. We are proud to recognize Doorways as a building community partner. Doorways helps those who are invisible and ignored by society, people navigating poverty, homelessness, and serious illnesses like HIV. While HIV has become treatable, the number of cases continues to rise in the disenfranchised community. Building community means nobody should be invisible. Learn more about Doorways at doorwayshousing.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. I'm so proud to recognize Doorways, the only agency in the region dedicated to providing housing to individuals living with HIV and their family members. Doorways sees to it that clients receive on-site services to manage their lives, opening doorways to independence and opportunity. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
It is 6:35, and your money report is sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
Good morning. There's some confusion about the trade deal between the U.S. and Japan. Tokyo's top trade negotiator will be in Washington to press for a reduced tariff on cars. The president said in a phone interview with CNBC that Japan has agreed to import Ford F-150 pickups. The size of the pickup could make it impractical on Japan's narrow roads. The NFL is selling most of its media businesses to Walt Disney in exchange for a 10% stake in the ESPN sports networks. The deal includes NFL Red Zone and the NFL Network. The move deepens the ties between the league and one of its top broadcast partners. Amazon.com is offering for the first time OpenAI's latest artificial intelligence models to customers. Amazon is offering the tools on its Bedrock and SageMaker platforms and said that their advanced reasoning capabilities make them suited for AI agents. The company says the OpenAI models will help Amazon Web Services meet demand from customers who want access to a variety of tools. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
A little planning goes a long way, and some really great planning is what you need when it comes to saving for retirement. Wherever you are in your retirement journey, you should check in with a professional, and I highly recommend Sachs Financial. Jeff Sachs and the team at Sachs Financial simplify retirement so it doesn't get so overwhelming. But I did ask Jeff because I just heard about a record number of Americans making early 401k withdrawals because times are tight.
Try and avoid it when you can. It's always harder to put it back in. And there may be some tax ramifications. If you're a younger saver and you pull your money out of your 401k, you might not realize the additional taxes that you could face.
If you have questions, if you just want to interview someone who can help you with your financial future, just give them a call or visit retiresafestl.com. Jeff Sachs and the team at Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 6:39 as Missouri students gear up for a new school year. Local board members are being briefed on key challenges ahead. One major topic, the growing impact of artificial intelligence in education, because it can do schoolwork for students instead of them learning on their own. Jim Hinson, executive director of the Education Governance and Leadership Association in Missouri, says one of the changes this year is the ever-evolving increase in the use of artificial intelligence and how to regulate it in the classroom.
I mean, we have glasses now that will record what's going on, what you're seeing. We have glasses that you can actually talk to and ask Meta, what am I seeing? Do we really want them to be able to memorize things they can research quickly?
Hinson tells Missouri Net AI does have positives, such as helping teachers to customize learning for each student.
6:40, time for an update on the roads. Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got a little trouble out in the Wentzville area now, Scott. This traffic reports service at Chesterfield Fence Deck. We have a crash blocking southbound 61 just before you get to Highway 70. They call that EMS crews. There's a backup to Wentzville Parkway now. It's going to get worse before it gets better, so be prepared. While we're talking about 64, I do see a little slowdown westbound 64 from 364 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. I believe that's road work related at that location. That crash eastbound 44 between Gray Summit and Pacific on the shoulder, not bothering anybody, so you're okay there. Northbound 55, just a touch slow north of Bayless up through River to Pear. So again, it doesn't look all that bad at that location. Downtown westbound 64 just a little busy on the Poplar, and it's also a little busy westbound 64 just west of Route 4 through that emergency work zone. Again, they're scheduled to have that one wrapped up tomorrow afternoon by around 3 or 3:30. So hopefully it won't impact the afternoon commute tomorrow, but I'm sure it will today, just like it did yesterday. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, our bodies are used to the heat by now, but it still serves warning. It is going to be hot for the next several days.
Yeah, probably going to have about 6 days of 90-plus degree heat starting today, and that gets us through the weekend and probably into Monday. Up to 92 today with sunshine, and the humidity is high enough that the real field temperatures are going to be approaching 100 degrees. Then patchy clouds tonight, warm and muggy with a low just 72. Warmer nights ahead, unfortunately. More sun and clouds tomorrow up to 94. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunshine, a few clouds, hot and humid. Temperatures each day probably close to 96. Right now, we're looking at 69 degrees in St. Peter's. It's 70 in Florissant, mostly sunny, 73 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. It is 6:42. A guitar once played by two Rolling Stones members is at the center of a dispute between former guitarist Mick Taylor and the Met Museum. The 1959 Gibson Les Paul was donated to the Met as part of a significant collection. Taylor claims it was stolen from a French villa during the recording of Exile on Main Street in 1971. The museum denies the claim, citing Provenance records that do not record Taylor as ever owning the instrument. Taylor's team wants an independent expert to verify the history. The guitar, known as the Keith Burst, was also played by Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page. The Met says it hasn't been contacted by Taylor.
That's my favorite Stones album, Exile on Main Street. A death certificate filed at a register office in London revealed that Ozzy Osbourne's cause of death was a heart attack. The New York Times obtained the document on Tuesday. The lead singer of heavy metal's pioneering band Black Sabbath and somewhat unexpected reality TV star died on July 22nd. He was 76.
From the KMOX archives 10 years ago today.
1776.
Hamilton opened on Broadway. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the hip-hop flavored biography about Alexander Hamilton, the nation's first Treasury Secretary. Hamilton has won many awards, including 11 Tonys, a Grammy, and the Pulitzer Prize. Fun fact, actor-singer Leslie Odom Jr., who played Aaron Burr in the original cast, was born on this day.
Oh, a little early birthday announcement. We have birthdays coming up in about 10 minutes on KMOX. A decades-old fast food mystery has finally been explained.
Where's the Coke, Dad?
McDonald's confirms to the Daily Mail Grimace is a taste bud. Fast food fans have long speculated about the big purple blob, guessing he was everything from a milkshake to an alien. A few years back, a company spokesperson told People Grimace meant different things to different people, and the only thing that mattered was that he made them happy. But that wasn't always the case. Grimace made his debut in 1971 as an evil, scaly, four-armed bandit who stole drink cups in McDonald Land. When Mickey D's realized it wasn't a good thing to scare young customers, they gave him a softer, more cuddly look. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A taste bud. Boy, I learned something every day on this show. Grimace, Birdie, the Hamburglar, Mayor McCheese, and Ronald McDonald will all star in a new adult Happy Meal launching on August 12th. It's 6:45. Nothing happy about last night's game at Dodger Stadium. Cardinals got lit up, specifically Miles Mikolas. We've been down this path before. Mikolas was hit hard. He was hit hard early. Max Muncy hit a home run off of him in the first. Muncy hit a home run off of him in the third. Teoscar Hernandez went deep the next batter, and 5 runs allowed by Mikolas. The only difference here is Ollie Marmol yanked him after 67 pitches. We've seen Marmol make him kind of wear it and save the bullpen. Not this time around. He was pulled after 3 innings. They turned it over to Matt Swanson, who ended up pitching 2 scoreless frames, but the Cardinals ended up losing this game 12-6 as the bottom fell out of the game late. Here's Marmol, FanDuel Sports Network Midwest, explaining pulling Mikolas after 67 pitches.
Just trying to give ourselves a shot there. I mean, a couple really good swings by Muncy and Teoscar. I mean, yes. He gave up his runs. We went to the pen. We were able to keep it close for a while there, and then we ran out of guys that were effective.
Gorman had a single, but he had a 430-foot home run. How good of a swing was that?
Really good swing. And then I like the other one where he's just stayed on it over short there. His ability to do both is important and not just get to the point where there's swing and miss or homer. So his ability to – both of those at-bats I really liked.
Yeah, Gorman had a couple of hits, including, as John Denton of MLB.com noted there in that question, a long home run. But those are the only bright spots. Cardinals got doubled up last night at Dodger Stadium 12-6. They won the first game of this series, so they can win the series this afternoon and the season series against the Dodgers, believe it or not. 3:10 first pitch. It'll be Shohei Ohtani pitching for L.A., Matthew Liberatore for St. Louis. We'll have the pregame at 2:15 right here on KMOX. St. Louis City SC made an announcement yesterday about Joachim Nielsen. Nielsen has had his contract bought out. City SC has exercised a buyout of Nielsen's guaranteed contract, and as a result, he will no longer occupy a senior roster spot, and his salary will not count against the club's 2025 salary budget. Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director for City, released a statement saying Joachim has been a true professional throughout his time in St. Louis. Unfortunately, injuries prevented him from contributing as much as he and the club would have liked. We thank him for his commitment both on and off the field and wish him and his family all the best moving forward. Nielsen joined City SC ahead of the club's inaugural season, went on to make 32 regular season appearances. We have our soccer showcase coming up. That'll be tomorrow night on KMOX, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we roll along this morning. St. Louis City SC on Y98 FM this weekend as well. They'll be hosting Nashville on Saturday, but we'll give you more details on how you can meet one of the players. That's on the way at 7:15, and again, that'll be tomorrow night. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX. St. Louis Composting, great company. They sponsor Who's Hot, Who's Not, and they are hot. I mean, people are using them, no doubt about it. 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting is a great place to pick up premium soil for your garden, mulch for your landscaping, compost as well. They transform organic yard waste, branches, leaves, grass clippings, and more into premium compost through a 6-month static composting process. They're the largest and most trusted compost provider in the St. Louis area, St. Louis Composting. Whether you're looking for bulk compost or just a few bags, St. Louis Composting provides an extensive selection of compost, soil blends, and mulches. You can just pull your truck or trailer up to one of the 9 facilities in St. Louis and they'll load you up, or you can order online for convenient delivery to your home or job site. 9 area locations, stlcompost.com.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Get ready, St. Louis. 2 acclaimed performers will headline a summer finale on the Muni stage Thursday, August 28th. International music icon Diana Ross and multi-Grammy Award-winning artist John Baptiste. And this is your chance to win a premium VIP experience to see the show. VIP includes a pair of box seats, a pair of VIP pre-party tickets, free drinks at the intermission bar, and a free parking pass. Register now online at KMOX.com/contest for your chance to win.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 6:50. Roger Brand watching the roads for us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Scott, I mentioned in the last report about a crash blocking southbound 61 just before Interstate 70. They're blocking all lanes. Emergency crews on the scene right now. It's southbound 61 just before the Pittman on-ramp. So if you're coming up from Pittman, it looks like you can get on the highway, but the through traffic can't get by currently, and southbound 61 is rapidly backing up. I call that jam just south of P now on southbound 61, so be prepared. Pretty significant backup. And again, all lanes are currently shut down. There's more volume on northbound 270 from Tesson Ferry up through Gravois, and then from Big Bend up through Manchester. Eastbound 30 has a backup from almost West Watson to 270 right now. Northbound 55 McNutt and north of Bayless for the time being looks good downtown. We're okay westbound across the Poplar, and westbound 64 west of Route 4 still moving pretty well as well at this time. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
It's going to be hot. A heat advisory, a heat wave starting today, lasting through the weekend. High 92 today, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. Pretty much every day you're going to see some clouds, but mostly sun. Lots of humidity. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hot and humid with a high each day of 96 degrees. Currently it's 69 in Florissant, 69 in St. Peter's, sunny, and 68 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer is defending her decision to pause the city's minority construction goals.
Mayor Spencer says federal funding such as FEMA aid and the airport renovation is in jeopardy if the program was allowed to continue as is, referencing memos from the Department of Justice and Department of Transportation.
We have more at risk than almost any city right now.
KMOX has reviewed the letters. One was sent to all federal departments, while the letter from the Department of Transportation was addressed to all their funding recipients. While both said federal funding could be at risk if DEI programs were maintained, neither letter was specific to St. Louis. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The U.S. Department of Education has chosen Missouri to lead a national experiment on a new statewide assessment model. Elisa Nelson reports the goal is to enhance learning and teaching in Missouri and throughout the country.
Missouri is the only state in the nation to begin a trial run during the upcoming school year on the different approach to testing. State Education Commissioner Carla Esslinger tells Missourinet the model will move students beyond the traditional end-of-year standardized testing to assessments given throughout the school year. The testing will cover existing English language arts and math exams.
A retired 5-year NFL veteran has been sentenced for his role in a dogfighting ring.
A former NFL player from Oklahoma has been convicted for his role in a large-scale dogfighting operation. Federal prosecutors announced this week that 54-year-old LaShawn Eugene Johnson of Broken Arrow was convicted of 6 felony counts of possessing dogs for use in an animal fighting venture. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000 on each count when he's formally sentenced in the next couple of months. Johnson's attorney, Billy Coyle, says his client was a dog breeder who was never accused of fighting dogs. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
A proposal by the FAA would speed up the deployment of drones.
The new rule would increase the use of drones for such activities as package deliveries by eliminating the need for waivers for drones to fly at night over humans and beyond the visual line of sight of operators. Officials say the rule would benefit manufacturing, farming, energy production, and filmmaking, and would help speed the delivery of medications. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
We still maintain our safety mission, but we allow the creativity of the American spirit to be unleashed.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Could the U.S. put nuclear power on the moon? Get more from NASA Administrator Sean Duffy, as also the Transportation Secretary. He was asked about plans to build a nuclear reactor. He says it's not a new concept. It's been discussed by multiple administrations.
We're in a race to the moon, in a race with China to the moon. And to have a base on the moon, we need energy. And some of the key locations on the moon, we're going to get solar power. But this fission technology is critically important.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. On this August 6th, M. Night Shyamalan is 55 years old. So is Ginger Spice, Jerry Hollowell. Actually, she's 53. Sorry to put 2 years on her. Vera Farmiga is 52.
Happy birthday, Linda Heinrich, celebrating today. Also, local celebrity birthdays. Happy birthday to Bobby Winchell from the Spring family, and happy 12th birthday to Will Wissman from Grandma and Grandpa Wiss.
It's the best birthday ever.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is about to turn 100. They were founded in 1926. They are the genuine, the original, and I mean the original. They're the ones who invented the overhead garage door. So you know when you have a garage door issue, who to turn to, don't you? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Don't be fooled. There's some companies that try to copy the name, but they can't copy the red ribbon, and they certainly can't copy the same-day service 7 days a week that Overhead Door Company of St. Louis provides. That's right. I said same-day service 7 days a week, nights and weekends as well. You know, and they know that a business is nothing without integrity. And at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, they prioritize the well-being of their guests above all else. They will never pressure you into buying something that isn't necessary. So you can rest assured when they come over to check out your door and tune it up, they're not going to be like, you know what? You need a whole new garage door. Let me show you some options. I mean, they are going to do what they have to do. And if there's a real problem, then they'll explore some options for you. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, durable garage doors in the surrounding area since 1926. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-all-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Let's check on traffic once again with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any change right now, Scott, in the Wentzville area with this crash, southbound 61 just before 70, all lanes blocked. It looks like if you're coming on from Pittman, you can get by the crash, but the through lanes are shut down. Traffic's jammed just a little south of Highway P on southbound 61, so big backup there. It looks like we've got trouble on 30 at 270, a big jam here as well. It's backed up solidly. It's slow at the Merrimack, jammed from West Watson all the way through 270. I think it may be signal problems possibly on the overpass there. And north 270, north of 55 is a jam up to Tesson Ferry right now as well. Other than that, things look good downtown across the bridges. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Bulldozers are clearing brush in Los Padres National Forest north of Los Angeles, where California's biggest wildfire is closing in on mega fire status. CBS's Jason Allen is near the fire zone in Santa Maria.
The Gifford Fire continues to burn for a fifth day, consuming more than 80,000 acres in both San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. More than 800 structures remain threatened, and evacuations are still underway.
This fire is fanning out in all directions.
Fire spokesman Fleming Bertelsen, officials are worried a prolonged heat wave could elevate the wildfire risk across the state. CBS News has learned more about top Justice Department lawyer Todd Blanche's interview with Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
According to a source familiar with the exchange, she told the number two at the Justice Department that Trump, once a friend of the late child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, did nothing in her presence that would implicate him. That revelation comes as sources say top administration officials are discussing whether to make public some of the transcript or recording of what Maxwell told Blanche.
President Trump has set Friday as the deadline for Russia to reach a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. And today, his envoy Steve Witkoff met with Vladimir Putin for about 3 hours. The BBC's Steve Rosenberg is in Moscow.
Mr. Trump himself has doubted publicly whether further sanctions will actually put enough pressure on Vladimir Putin to change his approach to the war in Ukraine.
President Trump's threatened not just Russia with severe tariffs, but also countries that buy Russian oil. New research links kids' screen time to dangerous health conditions.
The study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association says 10 to 18-year-olds who spent more time on devices were at higher risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and insulin resistance. The association's Dr. Amanda Marma-Perrick says those kids moved less and slept less. Coding or doing research on screens can be beneficial, but not more passive activities.
Like social media and YouTube and those kinds of short videos.
The researchers found 10-year-olds are on devices 3 hours a day on average. 18-year-olds are on them 6 hours a day. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Japan is remembering the 80th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing of Hiroshima. CBS's Anna Koren is there.
We've spent the last couple of days interviewing survivors. One is 96-year-old Junji Sarashina, and he was 16 years old. The concrete wall saved him. And when he emerged from the rubble, he saw this apocalyptic scene.
More than 100,000 people were killed. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius.
or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At 7:03, we have sunny skies and 68 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. It is Wednesday, August 6th. The news sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A new audit shows St. Louis Public Schools is quickly burning through its reserves.
Auditor Fitzpatrick's report finds that the St. Louis Public School District is set to run out of funds within the decade.
If this trend continues, the district will be what the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education defines as a financially stressed district by 2030 and will not have sufficient funds to complete the school year by 2031.
Afterwards, I asked Superintendent Dr. Millicent Borichetti how the district plans to balance the budget.
How does the board plan to get, or the district plan to get, I guess, in a better place budget-wise so you're not running out of funds by 2031?
One of the things that we know that we have to do is look at our spending, is look at the efficiencies of our buildings, and plan from there.
The audit also found that the district severely overspent on salaries for employees, senior leadership, and handed out millions of dollars worth of bonuses that were not approved. In downtown St. Louis, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A hate crime investigation is underway after 3 cars were found burning in Clayton yesterday morning.
Along with the burned out cars, a targeted message was sprayed in graffiti onto Westmoreland Avenue. Police say it was anti-Semitic in nature and that it called out someone by name who lives on that street. No one has been arrested, but
we are aware of at least one individual responsible for this crime.
Corporal Jenny Schwartz with Clayton PD says the FBI is joining the investigation.
Anytime we have reason to believe that a crime is motivated by hate, we do notify the FBI. So at this point, it is still a Clayton investigation, but they are assisting us.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The Jewish Federation of St. Louis is reacting to this week's hate crime in Clayton.
3 cars were set on fire early Monday morning on Westmoreland Avenue. Investigators believe it was a targeted attack and not a random act. The Jewish Federation released a statement saying, quote, "This is more than vandalism. It is a hateful act of intimidation and only the latest example of what happens when anti-Semitic and anti-Israel rhetoric are normalized." As the just-released FBI 2024 hate crimes report found, Jews were the target of nearly 70% of religiously motivated hate crimes in the U.S. and more than 16% of all hate crimes nationally. The release goes on to read, "They are a resilient community and will not be deterred in their quest to uproot anti-Semitism and hatred." Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
New this morning, St. Louis police have arrested 4 teens in connection with a carjacking of an Uber driver. The incident, which involved a police chase and a crash, ended in Bridgeton.
The incident began around 11:30 last night when a 67-year-old Uber driver arrived for a pickup in the 4400 block of Kennerly Avenue. According to St. Louis City Police, a suspect pulled a gun and demanded the driver get out of the car. The driver complied, and the suspect fired a shot as he exited the vehicle. The driver was not injured.
About an hour later, the real-time crime center located the car. Officers attempted a traffic stop near Union and Cote Brilliant, but the car fled. Police pursued the vehicle into St. Louis County, where it got a flat tire in Bridgeton near 70 and Lindbergh. The 4 suspects fled on foot, but were arrested with the help from Metro Air Support and some other police departments.
A 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 2 15-year-old boys were taken to St. Louis County juvenile detention. During the pursuit, 2 St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department patrol cars collided One officer was taken to the hospital for evaluation with neck pain, but no serious injuries were reported.
Coming up, KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer looks at the good news, bad news when it comes to colon cancer cases in younger people. That's after traffic and weather. Together, it is 7:08.
Life's unpredictable and full of unknowns, but your vehicle shouldn't be. No one wants to face an unexpected repair that could derail their plans and budget. That's why we're introducing CarShield, the ultimate way to future-proof your ride. We're not just about fixing problems, we're about preventing financial surprises. You can get a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan designed to save you from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine driving with complete peace of mind, knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll pay almost nothing for covered repairs. Included in every plan is free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, making it accessible to any driver. Don't wait for a breakdown to realize you need coverage. Invest in the future of your vehicle and your wallet today. Call CarShield now for your free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. Future-proof your ride. Call CarShield now, 800-220-6409, 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDRURYLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
7:10, let's take a look at the roads. Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, it's hard for me to tell, but it looks like they still have the lanes blocked on southbound 61. This crash just north of 70 that was blocking all lanes. I believe they're still all shut down. You can get on from Pittman to southbound 61, but you can't get through on southbound 61 currently. It looks like flatbeds are on the scene now. So southbound 61 is a solid jam back to Highway P. And I can't tell what the problem is on eastbound 30 at 270. It could be signals on the east side of the overpass, but eastbound 30 is a solid jam back through West Watson, not quite back to the Merrimack, but it's solid, just crawling all the way up the hill. And then the North 270 incident we have is looks like a stall in the left lane near the Sappington Road overpass. So North 270 is backed up at Highway 55 because of that. Now, with those trouble spots aside, the rest of the highways look good, even westbound 64 through Route 4 right now. I'm not seeing any delays. Next update is 7:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A heat wave gets underway today, and it will last through the weekend. AccuWeather real fuel temperatures will be near 100 for the next few days. Sunshine today, hot and humid this afternoon with a high reaching 92. Clear to partly cloudy, warm and sticky tonight, though 72. For tomorrow and Friday, more sun than clouds, hot and humid. The high tomorrow 94, Friday's high 96. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. Right now we have 68 degrees in St. Peter's, 71 in Florissant, 68 sunny skies downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:12. The search continues this morning for the hate crime suspect who set cars on fire in Clayton. The fires were discovered around 3 o'clock yesterday morning along Westmoreland Avenue. 2 cars on the street and 1 in a driveway were set on fire. The FBI is involved in the investigation.
A 61-year-old man is facing charges after St. Louis police say he kidnapped a woman from Tower Grove Park. He then returned to the park the next day and assaulted several people with brass knuckles. Investigators say Austin Fitzgerald approached 2 women at the park on August 1st with a gun. One got away. The other he allegedly took in his car and sexually assaulted. She later escaped. Police arrested Fitzgerald when he returned to the park the next day and started assaulting people. He's being held on no bond.
St. Louis City is pausing its program awarding construction contracts to minority and women-owned businesses, citing fears the federal government could withhold funding for FEMA or the upcoming airport construction.
We are a city that has a unique and unusual set of needs from the federal government right now. Most cities aren't sitting here waiting for FEMA and for disaster relief for a badly damaged community.
Mayor Kara Spencer doesn't want this to be the end of the program entirely, saying she has hired the consulting firm Griffin & Strong to help find a path to restarting the program.
The U.S. trade deficit hit a nearly 2-year low in June. It shrank by 16% from the previous month. Imports dropped significantly, reversing a trend from earlier this year when Americans bought more ahead of the new tariffs. The trade shortfall with China also closed by about a third, reaching its lowest in over 2 decades. The report comes as new tariffs are expected to take effect this week.
A new report from the U.S. Coast Guard concludes that the 2023 implosion of the Ocean Gate submersible was preventable. The report found that the disaster was directly caused by the company's disregard for safety protocols. According to the investigation, the company dismissed safety concerns, failed to properly test the vessel, and intimidated employees who raised alarms. The Titan submersible imploded during a trip to explore the Titanic wreck, killing all 5 passengers.
Good news, bad news when it comes to colon cancer cases in younger people.
As more people aged 45 to 49 are getting screened for colon cancer, more early-stage diagnoses are being made. CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. John LaPook.
A colon polyp starts off being benign. Almost every colon cancer starts off as a benign colon polyp. And then it can be in you totally benign for years. If at any point you do a colonoscopy and you find a benign polyp that was destined to become a colon cancer and you remove it, instead of getting colon cancer, you do not get colon cancer.
Dr. LaPook says colon polyps in the very earliest stages are more than 90% curable. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and last night at Dodger Stadium, ugly.
Bunch of home runs. Max Muncy homered early, actually homered a second time. Teoscar Hernandez also homered twice for the Dodgers. Not a good start for Miles Mikolas. Cardinals bullpen also pretty shaky. Not a good outing for Ryan Fernandez or Andre Granillo.
Well, it was Muncy with a 4-for-5 game, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Hernandez, 3-for-5, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Mookie Betts broke out of an 0-for-22, 3-for-4, a double and 3 runs scored as the Dodgers poured it on.
12 runs on 17 hits and several extra base hits.
Miles Mikolas took the loss with the win, going to Emmett Sheehan. It's Ohtani against Liberatore, a pair of left-handers today. We're on the air at 2:15. Ricky has the lineups at 3. I'll bring you the first pitch at 3:10 Central Time.
The player to bank on is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Cardinals relief pitcher Matt Swanson is one of the bright spots of the team's 12-6 loss to the Dodgers after starter Miles Mikolas is ineffective for 3 innings. Swanson comes on to strike out all 3 batters he faces in the 4th inning, including Shohei Ohtani, before he throws another scoreless frame, adding a 4th strikeout. Manager Oliver Marmol likes what he sees.
I really like the way Swanson came out today, especially against that lineup. He was revving it up there pretty good, especially here, just to be on the attack the way he was and get those punch outs. I mean, that was fun to watch. So there's some excitement behind that.
Swanson's season ERA is now down to 2.76. In his last 11 appearances since June 25th, he has a 1.89 ERA and a 152 batting average against. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Checking the standings in Major League Baseball, the NL Central, the Brewers lead the Cubs by 4 games now. The Brewers beat the Braves 7-2 last night, and the Reds beat the Cubs. So that moves the Brewers 4 games in front of the Cubs, who fell at Wrigley Field to Cincinnati 5-1. The NL East is led by the Phillies, and in the West, the Dodgers. Phillies are up 2.5 on the Mets. Dodgers up 3 on the Padres. In the American League, the Yankees are really struggling here. They've lost 5 in a row. They're clinging to the final wild card spot in the AL, just a half game in front of Texas, but they're going to get Aaron Judge. He is back in the lineup as the DH for the Yankees, following a 10-day stint on the injured list with a flexor tendon strain in his right elbow. There's still no clarity on when he'll return to the outfield. He went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in a loss to the Rangers last night, but nobody could hit Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, who has been dynamite. He went 8 innings, allowed only a hit in that ball game. The leaders in the American League are the Blue Jays, Tigers, and Astros, with the 3 wildcard teams right now, the Red Sox, the Mariners, and the Yankees. Again, Texas is a half game out. The National League wild card, it's the Cubs, Mets, and Padres, with the Reds sitting 3 games out of a spot. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
104.1 FM, KMOX. News, talk, sports.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1242. That's 800-275-1242.
Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. There is no doubt they're the best tree service in St. Louis. 1954 is when they started. They know your family loves that tree, and they can help you preserve it. They've been doing it for decades. Gamma Tree Experts, a St. Louis tree service that has provided high-quality tree and shrub care since 1954, family-owned and operated, and known for quality and integrity. Their customers like their professionalism. They like their responsiveness. They like doing business with a company where quality is of prime importance. And the professional staff, the arborists at Gamma Tree Experts, are passionate about trees. They understand how much your trees mean to you, and they have the knowledge and technical experience to provide the utmost in tree care. We're talking about board-certified master arborists, horticulturists, urban foresters. These are the people who understand trees. They have been doing it for years and years. Gamma Tree Experts, gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:21. Roger Brand watching the roads from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've had some troubles already this morning, Scott, on our area roadways. It looks like if you're traveling on southbound 61, they cleared that crash at 70. There's still backed up traffic in pockets north of Highway P, all the way down through the Wentzville Parkway area on southbound 61. Some folks were cutting around the back way and getting onto eastbound 70, so that's a little busy. Wentzville Parkway into Highway Z, but it's just a slowdown, not a jam. We have a crash they were clearing South 270 at Ladue. South 270 is bogged down at Olive. They cleared that one that was North 270 north of Tesson Ferry near Sappington, but traffic's still backed up as you ramp on from 55 up to Tesson Ferry. In fact, the right lanes in northbound 55 are slow at Butler Hill, and then north 55 again from just north of the Union Road overpass up through Virginia. Pretty busy, and I'm still seeing this jam. Can't tell what the problem is. It could be signals, but eastbound 30 bumper to bumper from almost the Merrimack River all the way up across 270 right now, so be prepared there. Westbound 64 seeing slowdowns, Route 4 midway into 158 on the Illinois side as well. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from Joe Lundberg. We're talking about heat and humidity, something you're probably used to if you've lived in St. Louis for a number of years or if you've just been here for a little while. A heat wave is what we get this weekend as well as today and tomorrow. A high of 92 today, low 72 with humidity tonight, high 94 tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a high each day of 96 degrees. Right now, it's sunny and 69 degrees downtown at the Arch, and the weather is sponsored by Spire, your natural gas provider. Spire has a fresh new look coming your way. They're updating their envelope color from orange to white. In August, be on the lookout for your Spire natural gas bill arriving in a fresh white envelope.
The news continues at 7:22. Texas leaders are trying to convince Democrats to return to the state capitol and end their quorum break. It's meant to delay a vote on new congressional maps.
Texas Democrats say that proposed redistricting in the state discriminates against Black and Latino voters and gives President Trump a potential boost ahead of the midterm elections. More than 50 of the Democrats are breaking quorum in the Texas House as they meet with Democratic leaders in states like Illinois and New York. The president isn't shying away from defending the proposed maps in Texas.
You notice they go to Illinois for safety, but that's all gerrymandered. California's gerrymandered. We should have many more seats in Congress in California. It's all gerrymandered.
He spoke with CNBC over the phone.
And we have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats. We have a really good governor, and we have good people in Texas. And I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know. And we are entitled to 5 more seats.
Democrats accusing Texas leaders of being political puppets.
When Donald Trump calls, they say, yes, sir. Right away, sir. Happy to lick your boot, sir.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's been meeting with Texas Dems.
When Donald Trump says jump, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton say, how high?
Governor Abbott told Fox News the proposed maps reflect how Texans feel.
There are no states more gerrymandered than California and Illinois and New York. In Illinois, I think they may have maybe 3 congressional seats for Republicans, despite the fact that Trump won more than 40% of the vote there.
The governor has ordered state troopers to arrest lawmakers who left the state, but that's primarily symbolic because jurisdiction's limited. But he is moving forward on a promise to remove from office. The state's suing State House Minority Leader Gene Wu in an attempt to oust him from the House. The suit claims that Wu, as well as other Texas Democrats, abandoned their duty in office and because of that should be removed. It also accuses Wu and others of potentially taking money and bribes to break quorum.
This is outrageous behavior, and Governor Abbott is right to use every tool at his disposal to end this charade.
Texas's senior Senator John Cornyn supports his governor and reached out to the FBI.
Today, I sent a letter to Director Kash Patel urging the FBI to investigate potential criminal acts and hold these supposed legislators accountable for fleeing Texas.
The effort in Texas will likely end with the maps passing because of the Republican majority there, but the focus seemingly is the national impact, as states like California are now moving forward with legislation that would redraw maps to benefit Democrats. Only, though, if Texas goes through with its plan. I'm Clayton Neville.
We're learning more about Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with the top Justice Department official Todd Blanche, the president's former attorney. Meanwhile, House Republicans have subpoenaed former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton as part of their investigation. CBS News senior political correspondent Ed O'Keefe says Maxwell said nothing that would be harmful to President Trump.
On Tuesday, the president said he hasn't discussed the interview with Blanche, his former personal attorney.
So I didn't discuss it with him, but anything he talked about with her or the fact that he did that, not unusual, number one, and most importantly is something that would be totally above board.
Trump also said he knew nothing about Maxwell's recent transfer from a Florida federal prison to a minimum security facility in Texas.
I didn't know about it at all. No, I read about it just like you did. It's not a very uncommon thing.
On Capitol Hill, the House Oversight Committee continues its probe with subpoenas seeking depositions from former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. In 2019, his office said that while Clinton knew nothing about the terrible crimes Epstein committed, he took 4 trips on an Epstein plane in 2002 and 2003. But Clinton hadn't spoke to Epstein in over a decade. Also called to testify, former attorneys general and FBI directors dating back to the Bush administration who oversaw federal investigations of Epstein. And the panel subpoenaed the Justice Department for records on him.
As the Justice Department seeks the release of grand jury testimony in the Maxwell and Epstein cases in New York, Maxwell's attorney says his client opposes its release, arguing her appeal is still pending before the Supreme Court.
A memorial ceremony was held earlier today to mark the 80th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The Peace Bell in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park was rung at 8:15 a.m., marking the exact moment the atomic bomb was dropped on the city. The bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, was detonated over the city center, with the goal of convincing Japan to surrender.
The bombing on Hiroshima, Japan, August 6, 1945, killed 140,000 people, and a second bomb on Nagasaki killed 70,000 more. The dropping by the U.S. was the world's first atomic bomb. Then President Truman announcing it.
With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction to supplement the growing power of our armed forces.
10 days later, Japan would surrender to end World War II. With survivors' numbers rapidly declining and their average age now over 86, this anniversary marking 80 years is a significant milestone. Matt Piper, CBS News.
It's 7:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. So this is August, and that is Pet Appreciation Month for Zero Res. We love our pets. I love my pets. They are a part of the family, no doubt about it. But the rest of my family doesn't poop and pee on the carpeting. Well, Nick sometimes. So if you're having that same sort of trouble with your pets that I do, just reach out to Zero Res, because the deal this month is 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129, 15% off your pet odor treatments, and $50 off your air duct cleaning. They are going to be on time. They're going to be accurate with their bids. They are going to be compassionate. They're going to be professional. They're going to work their tails off, and they have the 30-day gotta love it guarantee, which means if they don't blow you away, have them back. 314-474-2020, or you can also book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
At 7:31, we have sunny skies and 69 degrees downtown of the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, if folks are coming in on southbound 61 this morning, sort of surprised to see a jam. It's backed up north of Highway P about midway down to Wentzville Parkway. Then it's opening up, approaching 64 due to an earlier crash. 64 itself from that overpass there, 6170 on into Lake St. Louis Boulevard is slow through Winghaven. It's kind of busy, a little heavy at Research Park and at the Innerbelt. If you're on southbound 270, they cleared that crash at Ladue, but you're backed up south of Page to Ladue. It's slowed down to 64. North 270 still delays as you ramp on from 55, most of the way up to Gravois, approaching 44, and then just 64 to Ladue after that. Still seeing this jam on eastbound 30 from basically the Merrimack River all the way across 270. I believe it could be signals on the east side there causing the problem. Northbound 55, the right lanes are bogged down at Butler Hill, and all lanes jammed just north of Rivas. We have a stall in the center lane northbound 55, just north of Bayless, so we got trouble there now as well. And then on the Illinois side, westbound 64, Route 4, about midway into 158, you have roadwork delays, and west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, it's heavy. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger. We do have a heat wave starting today, lasting through at least the weekend. Real field temperatures will feel near 100 degrees each day. 92 this afternoon. Overnight, still pretty warm and humid, 72. Then tomorrow, 94. Friday and Saturday, 96. Lots of sun throughout this period. And Sunday, 96 once again. Right now, it's 70 in St. Peter's, 72 in Florissant, 69 downtown.
It's 7:32. An audit into St. Louis Public Schools found the district is on course to run out of funds by 2031. Auditor Fitzpatrick contributed the unbalanced budget to 2 things.
It's likely that the upward pressure on salaries combined with the temporary nature of some of the revenues coming into the district combined have created a little bit of a challenging situation for the budget moving forward.
Fitzpatrick's audit found 21 of the 30 employees they checked were overpaid by thousands, while the same was true for 6 of the 10 cabinet members they audited. The audit also found the district regularly spent thousands on unnecessary expenses like Topgolf and Caesar's Palace. Fitzpatrick says his audit did not find anything criminal in nature.
Someone torched 3 cars and sprayed anti-Semitic graffiti on a street in Clayton yesterday morning. Police say it was a targeted message towards someone who lives on Westmoreland Avenue. The FBI has joined the investigation because it's being considered a hate crime. No one's in custody, but police believe they're only looking for one suspect. Corporal Jenny Schwartz says they'll need the public's help to catch whoever did this.
We are asking that anyone that does have a video from around that time frame or in the neighborhood to forward that to our detective bureau, and they can reach our detective bureau at 314-290-8414.
There's a safer, greener way to fight fires.
It's called soy foam, a soy-based firefighting foam being used by the Boone County Fire Protection District. Assistant Chief Gail Bloomingcamp says it's not bad for the soil it lands on and the firefighters that it comes in contact with.
It's actually turning to nitrogen, and so there's no forever chemicals, there's no PFAS, and that's cancer-causing chemicals that have been in firefighting foam for decades.
And the foam has already proven its effectiveness.
We outfitted one truck with this foam when we first learned about it, and fought a fire over the 4th of July with it, and it performed just as we would expect.
In order for it to technically be biodegradable, it has to dissolve within 180 days. Bloomingcamp says the soy foam breaks down in just 18 days. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Coming up, your money report on Total Information AM. It's 7:34.
With the heat we have here in St. Louis, just a note, most air conditioners aren't set or able to handle 100 degrees without running constantly. So before you freak out and think your air conditioner is bad, here's a few tips. If you don't have ceiling fans in your bedrooms, you can get pedestal fans and put them in your room. Keep those running all the time. On a second-story house, put one pedestal fan on top of your steps and blow it into the foyer area up high so it's cooling the heat as it's coming up and circulating the air. If you have an attic fan, simple, quick fix, plastic bag, cut it up, and duct tape, because what's happening is it's sucking in all your attic air and the heat and humidity from the outside. Try those things before you call anybody or you call me. But if you did that, please call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. God bless.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's 7:36, and your money report is sponsored by Busey Bank.
Good morning. We could hear who will replace outgoing Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kugler in a few days. President Trump told reporters at a White House event that he would make his decision by the end of the week. Trump said the candidates he was considering for the post of Fed chair included former Federal Reserve Governor Kevin Warsh and National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. Visitors from Malawi and Zambia will have to post the biggest deposits under the government's pilot program to discourage overstaying on tourist or business travelers' visas. Starting August 20th, people from the 2 African nations will have to put up $15,000 when they seek their visas. The money will be refunded if they depart on time. The visitors must enter and leave the country through one of the 3 designated airports: Boston, Logan, JFK in New York, and Dulles in Washington. And McDonald's is adding a new McDonald Lamb meal to its menu next Tuesday. The meal will include either a quarter pounder or 10 chicken McNuggets. Of course, fries go with that, and a shake, and one of 6 collectible tins. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the roll up our sleeves and pitch in commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros, just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Glover, right now buy 2 windows and get 2 for free. No interest for 5 years. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Today, the Cards, the Dodgers, Hamlin Total Access 215, Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
You know what? I'm tired of hearing the home runs hit off of Miles Michaelis. This is coming up on the 40th anniversary of something that happened at Dodger Stadium that the Cardinals were involved in. So we're going to play that at 7:45, as well as some other news and notes on this Cardinals team in 2025. Right now, Roger Brands of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, busy highways, Tom. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, Wensville Parkway into the 64 interchange is kind of slow. And again, Lake St. Louis all the way into 79. Earth City past 270 is a little busy. South 61 a lot better. Wensville Parkway down onto 64 to 364 is kind of busy. Both sides of Wing Haven are slow, a little heavy at the inner belt. South 270 backs up Dorset down through Page. Then it's just slow down to 64. North 270 is your ramp on from 55 all the way up through Manchester. Then it's not as bad north of there up to Ladue. Eastbound 30 better than it was. They cleared that trouble spot we had at 270. It's still slow, though, from West Watson all the way to 270 right now. They also cleared that stall on 55 at Bayless. North 55, the right lane's bogged down at Butler Hill. And from Rivas up through Virginia, it's still busy on the Illinois side. 64 from the 70 split across the Poplar slow. And westbound 64, Route 4, midway into 158's heavy. Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At 7:42, we check in with Joe Lundberg, our AccuWeather meteorologist. Start of a heat wave today, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. Scott, we're looking at temperatures getting past 90 degrees with a good deal of sunshine, maybe a bit of haze in the atmosphere. Certainly going to be feeling more humid, too, than it has. Our high up to 92 with the AccuWeather real field temperatures upper 90s to near 100. And that's just the beginning of what should be at least a 6-day heat wave. Patchy clouds tonight down to 72. More sunshine than clouds tomorrow, hot and humid, the high 94. And this continues Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunshine and some clouds, hot and humid temperatures getting to about 96 each of those days. 71 right now in St. Peter's. It's 73 in Florissant. Mostly sunny, 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 7:43 on Total Information AM. An iconic guitar at a New York museum is under dispute.
Former Rolling Stones guitarist Mick Taylor has a beef. He can't get no satisfaction about what he says is a stolen guitar currently owned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Taylor says the 1959 guitar was nabbed in 1971 when he was recording the Stones album Exile on Main Street in the south of France. It was originally owned by Stones guitarist Keith Richards, and Taylor says it was gifted to him. The Met says the instrument's ownership history has no mention of Taylor. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
A death certificate filed at a register office in London revealed that Ozzy Osbourne's cause of death was a heart attack. The New York Times obtained the document this week. The lead singer of heavy metal's pioneering band Black Sabbath and reality TV star died July 22nd. He was 76.
A 5-time Oscar winner is on the mend overseas.
The man who brought us The Godfather is in the hospital.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
86-year-old Francis Ford Coppola had what's described as a scheduled non-emergency operation in Rome. The filmmaker posted to Instagram he took the opportunity to update his 30-year-old AFib procedure with its inventor, an Italian doctor named Andrea Natale. Coppola assures, quote, "I am well." Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
All right, before we get into last night's contest and what's to come for the Cardinals today, let's turn back the clock. 40 years ago, we're coming up on it, October 1985, the Go Crazy Folks home run in Game 5. Ozzie Smith off Tom Niedenfuer, sending the Cardinals to L.A. with a 3-2 series lead. Now Game 6, and Jack Buck on the call on KMOX with Jack Clark at the plate against Niedenfuer.
Clark, a chance to redeem himself after striking out in the 7th. The Dodger right-hander is set, and here's his pitch to Jack Clark. Swinging a long one into left field. Adios, goodbye, and maybe that's a winner. A 3-run homer by Clark, and the Cardinals lead by the score of 7-5, and they may go to the World Series on that one, folks. And everybody contributed today. McGee, Ozzie, Smith, Clark, you name them. And Daly trying to save it for Worrell and avoid the 7th game. Here comes the pitch to Guerrero. Swing and a fly ball should be caught by Willie. He fights the sun, and that's a winner. The Cardinals go to the series. They beat the Dodgers 7-5. It's a beautiful scene to observe as the Cardinals pound McGee and each other, give high fives, low fives, kisses and hugs, and they've won the game 7-5, and the 85 Cards are in the World Series.
Boy, it gives you chills just hearing that. What a time that was. One of the greatest Cardinals teams of all time, a team that actually fell short in the World Series and lost to the Royals in 7 games, but made headlines throughout the year. That team was picked last and ended up winning not only the division, but the pennant right there, defeating the Dodgers in 6 games at Dodger Stadium. That's where the Cardinals are this afternoon, a 3-10 start, and one of the greatest players in the world, if not the best, Shohei Ohtani, is the starting pitcher listed for the Dodgers today. Matthew Liberatore for the Cardinals. Believe it or not, the Cardinals can win the season series with a victory today against the Dodgers, but they got shellacked last night. Miles Michaelis got hit hard. Max Muncy hit 2 home runs off of him Teoscar Hernandez went back-to-back with Muncie in the third inning, and before you knew it, Michaelis had given up 5 runs. He actually got pulled pretty quickly, 67 pitches in and 3 innings, but the damage was already done. And although Matt Swanson went 2 scoreless in a very impressive outing out of the pen for the Cardinals, the bullpen ended up imploding and giving up 7 more runs, and the Cardinals lost the ball game 12-6. They are back at it today, and there was another bright spot, Matt Pauley, in the lineup last night.
Nolan Gorman is trying to take advantage of the opportunity with Nolan Arenado on the injured list. In the Cardinals' 12-6 loss to the Dodgers, he collects 2 hits, a 425-foot home run, and a hard-hit line drive single up the middle. Manager Oliver Marmol is seeing progress from Gorman.
Really good swing, and then I like the other one where he's just stayed on it over short there. His ability to do both is important and not just get to the point where there's swing and miss or homer. So his ability to both of those at-bats I really liked.
Gorman is on a 6-game hitting streak where he's hitting .364 with an OPS above 1,000. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. I can feel it coming. Our vacation in Innsbruck is imminent, and we will experience the joy of lakeside living and endless activities at Innsbruck. It's our retreat from the everyday, and the great thing about it is it's right here in the St. Louis area. When you go through the security gate at Innsbruck, you are entering an entirely different world. You are on vacation immediately. With 100 lakes and 7,500 acres to explore, Innsbruck is unlike anything in the area. And people are coming in from all over the Midwest to this peaceful retreat where natural beauty meets modern comfort, whether it's a weekend getaway or some people are now living there permanently. And I'm very envious. You can find your sanctuary at Innsbruck. World-class golf. You can throw an event there. They have great dining options and unique shopping at Innsbruck as well, and amenities and activities to bring you closer to your family and friends in the natural world. It's Innsbruck. Visit them online, innsbruck-resort.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Traffic and weather together. Let's start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling south on 61, we still have heavy traffic. Not a jam like it was, but it's still slow south of P down onto 64, which is busy most of the way in through Winghaven, almost midway to K, and then right around McKnight. Westbound 64 Science Center headed to Hanley is busy. South 170, Page down to Delmar, and then the Parkway to 64, you're slow. South 270, Dorset down to Ladue is crowded. Northbound 270, pretty much north of 55 all the way up to Ladue, there's heavy stretches. Eastbound 70 backed up from Wentzville Parkway all the way into 64. It's slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to 79 and east of the Blanchette Bridge into the Rock Road again. Just a lot of volume running that route as well. Eastbound Highway 30, a lot better. There's just a little delay coming into Mauer, and then it's okay up to 270. Northbound 55, Rivas up to River to Pear, pretty solid backup, slow to Virginia. 5570 at 203, 64 at Boss, slow to the Poplar, and of course 64 Route 4 midway into 158 in that construction zone is still heavy. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from Joe Lundberg, hot and humid for the next several days. A heat wave that really starts today and lasts through the weekend. It's going to feel like near 100 degrees each day. High 92 today, tonight low 72, tomorrow high 94, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hot and humid both days, a high of 96 degrees. Right now, we have 72 in Florissant, 72 in St. Peter's. It's sunny and 72 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52. Missouri will be a national experiment for a new assessment model. The state education commissioner, Carla Esslinger, says the U.S. Department of Education has chosen Missouri to test the transition from traditional end-of-year tests to exams given throughout the year.
They can decide at a building level, do they want to do this 3 times a year, 4 times a year, 5 times a year? Now, I'm not saying we're reducing or taking less around the standard or the competency of what's expected of a third grader. But if you can give it to them in smaller increments and be able to work with them along the way, I think it's much more pleasant for the student.
MissouriNet reporting that teachers will get real-time data to guide instruction for this new model.
As Missouri students gear up for a new school year, local school board members are being briefed on key challenges ahead. One major topic, the growing impact of AI in education, because it can do schoolwork for students instead of them learning on their own. Jim Hinson, executive director of the Education Governance and Leadership Association in Missouri, says one of the changes this year is the ever-evolving increase in the use of AI and how to regulate it in the classroom.
I mean, we have glasses now that will record what's going on, what you're seeing. We have glasses that you can actually talk to and ask Meta, what am I seeing? Do we really want them to be able to memorize things they can research quickly?
Hinson tells MissouriNet AI does have its positives, such as helping teachers to customize learning for each student.
Days after it was announced that he'll no longer be taking the superintendent job at Francis Howell, Dr. Mike Dominguez already has a new gig. He's been announced as the assistant superintendent of the Shawnee Public Schools in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Dominguez first accepted the role as super of Francis Howell in March. He was set to begin in July, but then in late June, the district said he wouldn't begin his duties due to unforeseen circumstances. In a Friday email to parents, the school district and Dr. Dominguez announced that he resigned to allow him to pursue opportunities better aligned with the current needs of his family.
St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder says he is disappointed by the outcome of a recent audit into the prosecuting attorney's office. The council requested the audit because there was some concern about spending when it was headed by Wesley Bell.
We wanted a thorough investigation, and what we got was two and a half pages of a report back after 6 months.
The audit did find only 51% of timesheets were signed off by a supervisor. Harder says he was surprised to learn that the audit team never visited the office. Everything was done remotely. It's 7:55.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Jerry Adler had their kitchen remodeled by 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and talks about the experience.
If we had only met Darren when we started doing this construction, I would have been a lot happier girl than I am now. My husband, when he heard the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath would be in 3 days and out in 3 days, did not believe me.
Did he change his mind?
When he saw that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came in and was gone in 3 days, he found that that was the best experience we have had. Darren worked with us on our budget so that we could have the kitchen we needed without feeling like we were completely out of our league. They were professional, cared about the other part of the house. The work is beautiful. I wanted to give them the biggest hug ever.
Top quality materials and workmanship. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. On the web at 3daykitchen.com.
Recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So, if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
758, Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're coming in on eastbound Highway 70, still have delays east of David Hochul Parkway into 64. Once you get on 64, it's heavy coming up all the way in through Winghaven. Southbound 61 just a little busy on the crossover, not bad. Eastbound 70, Earth City into the Rock Road, slow. South 270, Dorset down to Ladue is busy. North 270, Tess on Ferry up to Ladue, that's crowded. Eastbound 64, east of Lindbergh through the Inner Belt, you've got some slow stuff there. Southbound 170, Olive down to 64 is pretty heavy. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker out to the Inner Belt is slow. North 55 backs up north of Rivas to River to Pear. Westbound 55, 70, 203 to the Poplar downtown. Westbound 64, west of Route 4, roadwork delays at Crash. Northbound 141 near 64, they were clearing traffic's heavy at Clayton Road. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny and 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. Megan Lynch follows us with an hour of Total Information AM, and here's what she has. Illinois will soon require most school kids to have a mental health screening. If you're a parent, should you be worried?
I'm Scott Jagow. The state auditor warns St. Louis public schools could soon be bankrupt.
President Trump warns of more tariffs on India. KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz tells us what we buy from India that could cost you more.
Did a soccer stadium have the right to eject a fan wearing a MAGA hat? We asked KMOX legal analyst Brad Young.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine today, hot and humid this afternoon, high 92.
It's 8 o'clock on KMOX.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Kremlin says 3 hours of talks between Vladimir Putin and President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, this morning were constructive. They took place ahead of Mr. Trump's Friday deadline for reaching a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. The BBC's Steve Rosenberg has details from Moscow.
The first video came through just 11 seconds of a smiling Vladimir Putin walking up to Steve Witkoff, shaking his hand. We don't know what proposal or offer Mr. Witkoff has brought with him, and we don't know whether Vladimir Putin will agree to it. Up till this point, there's been no sign from Moscow that the Kremlin has wanted to compromise or make any concessions on the war in Ukraine.
President Trump has threatened Russia with severe tariffs. The family of one of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers is speaking out after his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, said she would testify before Congress about the case if she receives clemency from President Trump. Mr. Trump said Epstein stole Virginia Giuffre when she worked at Mar-a-Lago as a teenager. Her sister-in-law, Amanda Roberts, tells CBS Mornings,
"It would be a travesty. It makes me sick. It makes survivors sick. It is a slap in the face. The idea that she could potentially get a pardon."
Virginia Giuffre died by suicide in April. A massive wildfire is growing in central California's Los Padres National Forest. Firefighting planes are trying to tamp down the flames that have scorched more than 80,000 acres so far. Correspondent Jason Allen is in Santa Maria.
The separation between black and green on the hillside is where firefighters have cut big fire breaks and used retardant to stop it here. But no sooner do they do that, the wind kicks up and the fire just pops up again somewhere else.
Experts are weighing in after Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pulled $500 million in funding for research on mRNA vaccines for flu and COVID. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
A lot of people have a form of, for lack of a better word, PTSD from the pandemic. And so we're seeing a lot of folks going to war on infectious disease doctors, on mRNA and other technology like that.
Secretary Kennedy calls that technology too risky. You'd be wise to keep your credit score in check. New report from Bankrate finds a lower rating can cost you a lot.
People with lower credit scores pay about $3,400 per year more on average for loans and other financial services. That equates to about 4% of median household income.
Bankrate's Ted Rossman. Dow futures up 131. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Today is Wednesday, August 6th. The news sponsored by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. The search continues this morning for the hate crime suspect who set 3 cars on fire in Clayton and then wrote death to the IDF and graffiti on the street. IDF may mean Israel Defense Forces, as Clayton police called the messaging anti-Semitic, and the FBI is investigating it as a hate crime. The graffiti also included the name of someone who lives on Westmoreland Avenue. The fires discovered around 3 o'clock yesterday morning. 2 cars on the street and one in a driveway set on fire. No arrest has been made. Police believe they are only after one suspect. Happening overnight, St. Louis City Police arrested 4 teens for carjacking an Uber driver. Police say a 67-year-old driver was picking up a fare on Kennerly Avenue when a suspect pulled a gun and demanded the driver get out of the car. The suspect then fired a shot as the driver exited, though the man was not injured. The car was later spotted leading police on a chase that ended in Bridgeton. 4 teens ranging in age from 15 to 17 were arrested after a short chase on foot. During the pursuit, 2 police cars collided. 1 officer was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. A 61-year-old man facing charges after St. Louis police say he kidnapped a woman from Tower Grove Park, then returned to the park the next day and assaulted several people with brass knuckles. According to investigators, Austin Fitzgerald approached 2 women at the park on August 1st with a gun. One got away. The other he allegedly took in his car and sexually assaulted. She later escaped. Police arrested Fitzgerald when he returned to the park the next day. He's being held on no bond. The first of 2 audits into St. Louis public schools has been released.
The audit gave the district a rating of poor and found the St. Louis Public School District is burning through their reserves, set to run out by 2031. The audit also found questionable spending under former Superintendent Dr. Keisha Scarlett. Issues that arose during her 1-year tenure prompted the auditor's review. Some of the misspending leads directly to salaries given to district cabinet members hired by Dr. Scarlett. According to the audit, 6 of the 10 cabinet members hired by her were offered salaries that exceeded the maximum allowed by the school board by as much as $44,000 a year annually. We hope to hear more coming up soon from State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick. Outside the old post office building in downtown St. Louis, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And we're actually going to go in depth on that story coming up this morning on KMOX at 8:24. Days after it was announced he will no longer be taking the superintendent job at Francis Howell, Dr. Mike Dominguez has a new gig. He's been announced as the assistant superintendent of the Shawnee Public School District in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Dominguez first accepted the role as superintendent of the Francis Howell School District in March. He was set to begin in July, but on June 27th, the district announced that he would not begin his duties on July 1st due to unforeseen circumstances. In a Friday email to parents, the Francis Howell School District and Dr. Dominguez announced he'll resign to allow him to pursue opportunities that better align with the current needs of his family. St. Louis City is pausing their program awarding construction contracts to minority and women-owned businesses citing fears the federal government could withhold funding for FEMA or the upcoming airport construction.
We are a city that has a unique and unusual set of needs from the federal government right now. Most cities aren't sitting here waiting for FEMA and for disaster relief for a badly damaged community.
Mayor Kara Spencer says she doesn't want this to be the end of the program entirely, saying she has hired the consulting firm Griffin & Strong to help find a path to restart the program. Soybeans are helping to fight fires.
The Boone County Fire Protection District is the first in Missouri to use a new, greener fire extinguishing foam made from soybeans. Assistant Chief Gail Bloomingcamp.
It is the first green screen gold certified foam, firefighting foam on the market. It's biodegradable, and in order for it to be considered biodegradable, it has to degrade to 60% within 180 days.
He says it breaks down in only 18 days, and it won't hurt your garden.
When it does biodegrade, it turns to nitrogen. So even good for the plants and the earth.
And all the bad chemicals that cause cancer in other firefighting foams, they won't be found on the ingredient list for soy foam. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
A St. Louis County suburb in the national spotlight after being named in the top 10 hottest zip codes for home buyers. Realtor.com released the list based on demand, affordability, and convenience. Baldwin came in fourth, specifically the zip code 63021. It's the third year in a row as Baldwin has been recognized as one of the top 10 hottest zip codes. It's 8:08. We'll check traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM, the news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10 at KMOX. We are tracking the slowdowns for you. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, we still have quite a bit of that, Megan. If you're traveling on eastbound Highway 70, there's still some slow traffic. Coming into Wentzville Parkway through Highway Z. After that, it's just kind of slow east of the Blanchette Bridge and toward the Rock Road. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down onto 64 is heavy through Winghaven in sort of in stretches. It opens up about midway into Highway K, and then it's slow again east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. The Interbelt's bogged down at the Parkway. Westbound 64 Hampton to Hanley is slow. South 270 Page down to Ladue busy. North 270 a little busy at Tesson Ferry. North of Sappington to 44 slow. Big Bend most of the way to Ladue. Just some volume running that way. Northbound 55. Every once in a while, it's sort of an accordion slowdown there. It sort of bunches up periodically. Union Road up across River to Pear downtown. Westbound 64, 70 split onto the Poplar, and it's backed up at Route 4 about midway into 158 in downtown. They're clearing a crash. I can't see it now. I guess They may have, there's still some restrictions there. It's westbound 70. Looks like the left lane's just west of Shreve. Traffic is backed up at Salisbury. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A heat wave gets underway today, and it will last through the weekend. AccuWeather real fuel temperatures will be near 100 for the next few days. Sunshine today, hot and humid this afternoon with a high reaching 92. Clear to partly cloudy, warm and sticky tonight, though 72. For tomorrow and Friday, more sun than clouds, hot and humid. The high tomorrow 94, Friday's high 96. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have sunny skies now, 74 degrees in Florissant and St. Peter's, 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. A new Illinois law will require some public school students to get mental health screenings on top of things like school physicals and vision and hearing exams. It's the first of its kind in the country. The law goes into effect for the 27-28 school year for kids in grades 3 through 12. Let's get perspective this morning from the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Sarah Gray is the executive director of the Illinois branch. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm curious if your group supported this legislation.
We do support it. We think that we're in the middle of a youth mental health crisis, and rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide among young people have surged over the past decade. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death for children ages 10 through 14, and third leading cause of death for ages 15 through 24. Overall, 1 in 6 youth experience a mental health condition each year. And we believe that early identification is one of the most effective ways to intervene before symptoms escalate. Just as we screen for hearing and vision to help students succeed, mental health screenings can identify struggles early so that no child slips through the cracks.
Sarah, I'm sure you can understand a lot of parents might have some pause over this, basically about concerns about privacy and the stigma surrounding mental illness.
Oh, absolutely. So, and those concerns must be taken seriously. The law requires the state Board of Education to create guidance for schools on how to collect and handle data. It's extremely important for any data collected through mental health screenings to be handled appropriately and stored securely. Families should have full transparency into what's collected, who sees it, and how it's used. Consent and communication are non-negotiable, and families have the option to opt out. I want to stress that we do these through other screening tools such as development, vision, height, and weight. And about profiling, it's completely valid that some families, especially in communities of color or those who have been historically underserved, may have concerns about biases or being treated unfairly or labeled. And that's why it's essential these screenings are done with cultural awareness, transparency, and respect. And about stigma, it's completely understandable for families to worry about stigma, but screenings like these can help reduce it. When we treat mental health like we do any other screening, any health, sends a powerful message to students. It's okay to talk about how they're feeling, and it's okay to ask for help.
So I guess, as a parent, I'm wondering, who would you recommend do this screening?
So right now, the Illinois State Board of Education and the state's Children's Behavioral Health team are working on making clear guidelines on how schools will carry these screenings out. The goal is to make sure the process is consistent, respectful, and centered on student well-being. The screenings will use trusted evidence-based school, not just opinions or observations, and they'll be given by trained professionals. I want to stress that families will always have the right to ask questions, get more information, or seek a second opinion. And these screenings will be free for families, but we know that getting care after the screening is just as important. And that's why we support efforts like HB 1085, a bill that will make it easier for mental health providers to join insurance networks so that families can get the help they need without delays or extra costs, because that's usually where it hits the pavement, is that the families need to get treatment, and sometimes they're underinsured or not insured, and so that's a really important aspect. So it needs to be done by trained individuals and professionals. Just to give a little bit about myself is I have a background in special education and early education. I worked as a special ed teacher, and I also worked for Head Start for almost 20 years. And, you know, I have the belief that early intervention leads to the best outcomes. And it's a screening tool, not to diagnose. There's a big difference.
You know, talk about that, because I think that's probably the fear of a lot of parents when they hear this, that, oh, there's going to be something put on my student's record that they have, for example, depression or suicidal ideation or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the reason for a screening tool is so that you can see that there might be areas of concern and to follow up on. It is not used by a psychologist or a psychiatrist to diagnose. That would happen outside of the school, and you can keep that private. It is just letting you know that you may have a child that is having some concerns, and to bring awareness to either, it can happen two ways. A parent can bring the concern to a school, or this, just like how it does now, if a parent has a concern with learning, having gone through helping children get IEPs, a parent can bring the concern to the school can bring the concern to the parent. It should be a two-way street. And I am a parent of a child that had a mental health crisis her first year at a community college. And I know that getting a call from the guidance counselor from the community college that she was having suicide ideation, I'm so glad she's still here with us. At age 30, she's healthy. She takes her treatment serious. She's back in college. She's working. You know, that's what I hope for every child that struggles, that they get the help that they need so that they're here with us.
Sarah, thank you so much. Really appreciate your insight and your time on this.
Oh, you're welcome. This is something really close and dear to my heart. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think that this has the potential for being a groundbreaking step for Illinois. And universal mental health screenings will help identify concerns early, connect families to support, and ultimately save lives. And we're committed, NAMI Illinois is committed to working with schools, families, and communities to ensure that it's implemented with care, compassion, or equity. And we'll raise our voice. You know, we are an alliance. We are individuals that have symptoms or a diagnosis, and the caregivers. And so if we see things that we think are unjust, we will raise our voice loud. So we're grassroots. We're the largest grassroots mental health organization in the country, and that's who we collectively are. So this is very important to us. So thank you for inviting me to talk about this.
That is Sarah Gray, Illinois Executive Director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Coming up, the state auditor warns that St. Louis Public Schools could soon be bankrupt. We're going to hear more of what he had to say next here on KMOX. First, let's check on some of the slowdowns that Roger Brand mentioned the last time he was up with us. He joins us again from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, I believe they cleared the crash downtown. I'm trying to look right now to see this. Traffic reports the service of Metro Transit. There's still delays at Salisbury and it jams at Adelaide through to about Shreve, but the crash was west of Shreve, so I think they have cleared it. That's just leftover volume. Eastbound 70, the Blanchette Bridge into 270 slow. Southbound 61 on to eastbound 64 through Winghaven, still pretty busy. And then McKnight through the Interbelt. The Interbelt's backed up at the Parkway. Westbound 64, just McCausland through Big Bend's a little slow. South 270, south of Page to Ladue is heavy. North 270, Sappington up to Ladue. there's slow stretches. Seeing backed up traffic on 141 south and northbound around St. Luke's Hospital could be signal issues. And then there's still a backup southbound down through 64. We had a crash on 141 in that area just a short time ago. Northbound 55 Bayless to River to Pears backed up. Westbound 64, both sides of Route 4, you've got delays, and then it's slow across the Poplar. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we couldn't escape some more hot weather before the summer was over. A heat wave starts today, lasts through the weekend. Real fuel temperatures could top 100 each day. For today, mostly sunny, hot and humid, a high of 92. Right now, we have sunshine, 71 degrees downtown at the Arch.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Get a Metro Transit $5 day pass from Metro St. Louis and go anywhere Metro goes, no matter how far or how long, all day long. Super chill, clean, safe, and reliable, not to mention AC and free Wi-Fi. Go to metrostl.org to get your pass today.
This is Tom Ackerman for McKelvey Homes. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyhomes.com. McKelvey Homes knows with market uncertainty and rising home values, many buyers are on the fence. But McKelvey Homes is turning that hesitation into opportunity. Right now, they are offering a 5.5% fixed 30-year interest rate on select homes, along with move-in ready options, exclusive savings, and the peace of mind that comes with buying new. Go to McKelveyhomes.com. You can view their custom home sites, find your new home, find out where they build all throughout the St. Louis area, St. Louis County and St. Charles County. McKelvey Homes, established in 1898, is Missouri's oldest and most well-established name in the home building industry. Again, go to McKelveyhomes.com and you can see all the information and photos there. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyhomes.com, McKelveyhomes.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. After hearing some of the headlines about the audit of the St. Louis Public Schools, I wanted to hear more for myself about what the state auditor had to say.
The common thread here is a lack of leadership. The superintendent of a school is a very important job, but the board is in charge of the district, and the board hires the superintendent.
Let's hear more now. A year-long review of the St. Louis Public Schools finances revealed how shaky that financial picture is. It's one of the state's largest districts. Missouri Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick stresses the problems are broader than just one person.
I know the public outcry, the call from other government officials, and even the reporting by members of the media initially focused on issues surrounding the former superintendent, Dr. Keisha Scarlett. But I want to stress that the district was in desperate need of a performance audit well before Dr. Scarlett arrived in St. Louis. There certainly were many issues related to Dr. Scarlett's tenure, and they are documented in this report. However, the school board was asleep at the wheel and allowed Dr. Scarlett to abuse the system in the first place, and that issue has to be addressed.
In his summary of the issues, Fitzpatrick points to a recurring theme. The Board of Education failed to provide adequate budget planning and oversight.
And if this trend continues, the district will be what the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education defines as a financially stressed district by 2030 and will not have sufficient funds to complete the school year by 2031.
Drilling down into his office's report, Fitzpatrick says some spending had no apparent educational benefit.
The district made approximately $1.4 million in purchases using 24 purchasing cards from June 6, 2023 through August 5th, 2024, which occurred under the watch of Dr. Scarlett. From that period, we reviewed a sample of 27 transactions totaling $17,040. And we found 17 of the transactions, or 63% of them, totaling $12,436 that were questionable or unreasonable. We identified credit card purchases such as $3,888 in charges for a Topgolf venue rental, $1,689 for a 4-night stay at Caesar's Palace, and $1,282 for a mystery Airbnb rental charged to the district-issued credit card for the former superintendent that nobody can explain.
Now, you may be listening to that and think, how could that happen? Well, Fitzpatrick points out that part of the problem is the district actually had no policy on the books on the use of purchasing cards.
I'm sure we can all agree some of those purchases don't pass the common sense test and should never have happened, but the school board's decision to allow credit cards to be handed out to employees like Halloween candy without any kind of guidance on their acceptable use is inexcusable.
Fitzpatrick also had a warning about how the district's procurement procedures are ripe for potential fraud.
The same can be said for the district selecting a vendor without a competitive process for $133,295 in T-shirt purchases. The district's explanation that the purchases with the T-shirt vendor were multiple purchases less than $5,000 each, which they stated was below the sealed bid threshold, just doesn't hold water. The district has several preferred vendors that provide T-shirts and apparel, and the district was unable to explain why personnel used a vendor that had not competed to become a preferred vendor instead of one that had.
And that is just one example. And those findings released yesterday, just the first of two parts of the state auditor's review of St. Louis public schools. We'll continue to follow this story. Coming up on Total Information AM, President Trump warning of more tariffs on India. KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz is going to tell us what we buy from India that could now cost you more. It's 8:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman's Summer Living, Outdoor Living, Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best. Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Fence and deck in their name. Beautiful fences, great materials, great staff, good people. The showroom in Chesterfield Valley will show you that variety of fence or deck that you want to put in, but they have more than that. Patios, pergolas, sunrooms, retaining walls, and more from Chesterfield Fence and Deck. How about an outdoor kitchen? How about an outdoor fireplace? Maybe a great place to just kick back and unwind during the summer and have a cup of coffee and a newspaper or read, which is what I do often on the weekends. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can do that for you. ChesterfieldFence.com. When you mention me, Tom Ackerman, you'll get 48 months interest-free financing from your next outdoor project. With Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Let's check your ride into work with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we're still slow on southbound 270, approaching Olive down to Ladue. North 270, I think we'll call it Big Bend to Ladue, still kind of busy. Eastbound 64, from 364 through Winghaven, opens up before you get midway to K, a little heavy at Clarkson, and right through the inner belt. Westbound 64 from Clayton Skinker, McCausland area out to Hanley is heavy. South 170 bogs down at Brentwood. 55, barely a slowdown now at River to Pear. That doesn't look bad. Westbound 70, like I said, they cleared that crash at Shreve. We're still backed up, though, from Salisbury out through about Adelaide, and then it's picking up the pace. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 approaching Route 4, backed up about midway to 158, and westbound 64 west of 3rd Street to the Poplar is slow downtown. Your garage store is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door for same-day service at 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger. And checking that forecast for today, it's going to be mostly sunny, hot, and humid. We'll have a high around 92 degrees, and that launches a heat wave that's going to last through the weekend. Real field temperatures could reach 100 every day over this weekend. Right now, we do have sunny skies, 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. There's a growing trade rift between the U.S. and another country, India. Let's look at the relationship with KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz. He's a professor in the Chaffetz School of Business at St. Louis University. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
So what traditionally has been the United States' relationship with India in terms of trade?
Well, it's always been big. It's actually monumental right now. The U.S. is India's biggest trade partner when it comes to hard goods. India is now the 10th largest partner for hard goods for the U.S. So clearly, we're important to one another.
When you say hard goods, explain to our listeners what that means.
Sure. There are goods and services. And goods are things like from what does the U.S. import from India? And there are things like electrical equipment, pharmaceuticals, particularly India's big in fundamental chemicals that are used in pharmaceuticals. It turns out that they're one of the largest providers of pearls and other precious stones in the world. We also get petroleum products from them, and even what a lot of folks are most familiar with, clothing and material from India. On the other hand, from the U.S., what India is looking for, aircraft and aerospace parts, plastics, medical equipment, and finished pharmaceuticals. A lot of their defense products, bombs, things like that, come from the U.S., and they also get a lot of oil and petroleum from us.
So last month, the Trump administration announced some additional tariffs on India, 25%. There's a threat of more. How could all of that impact this relationship and impact U.S. businesses and consumers specifically?
Well, if you think about the kind of goods that we're getting from India and the kind that they're getting from us, it clearly is going to make a dent, because we're talking literally $200 billion plus of trade a year between the two countries. So it's going to certainly make a difference at corporate levels. For individual consumers, it's going to be, it may be the price of a pearl necklace will go up or something like that. More occasional, but still very much a part of what could happen.
That is KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz, professor in the Chaffetz School of Business at St. Louis University. Thank you so much.
Have a great week.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
8:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Kimberly Adams.
Good morning. President Trump is continuing his efforts to reshape global trade. The president says he will raise tariffs on India very substantially, and he threatens to impose levies on nations that buy energy from Russia. The president said tariffs on semiconductor and pharmaceutical imports are coming soon. A weaker than expected supply managers report on service sector activity weighed on stocks yesterday, and the major averages posted losses ranging from 0.1% to 0.75%. Boeing will be getting a nice order from Cathay Pacific Airways. The Hong Kong-based carrier says it will order 14 777-9 jets worth more than $8 billion. It's Cathay Pacific's first Boeing order in 12 years. And Claire's has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The retailer is a mall staple known for its pre-teened focused jewelry and accessories. The company is dealing with higher import costs for its merchandise and a pullback in consumer spending. It also filed for Chapter 11 in 2018. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals. That ball was mashed. And there are more ways to watch this season. Holy cow! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts. How about that play? Or watch through a TV provider. Incredible! Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. He got it! Learn more at cardinals.com/TV. Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live, it's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming charity golf tournament benefiting the VFW National Home. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Guys, Glover here. August is Pet Appreciation Month. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129, 15% off pet odor treatments, and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
Sunny skies, 76 degrees at 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The Department of Health and Human Services plans to cancel contracts and pull funding for some vaccines being deployed to fight respiratory viruses like COVID-19 and the flu. Hot products like a Minecraft-themed meal helped McDonald's turn around its sagging sales in the second quarter. The Chicago burger giant said Wednesday its revenue rose 5% to beat expectations. The president suggests he might send the FBI to return Democrats who fled Texas We'll ask KMOX legal analyst Brad Young if that's possible next. First, though, we need to get another check of the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got a bit of a jam downtown, Megan. This traffic report's a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. Westbound 70 Salisbury out through Adelaide's bumper to bumper. Looks like we have a new crash there now. The original crash was at Shreve. If you're on eastbound 64, east of 364 through Winghaven, it's still slow, a little busy at Research Park. Clarkson most of the way to Timberlake, and midway in from Lindbergh through McKnight past the Interbelt's heavy. South 170 backs up at Brentwood. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinker to Hanley slow. South 270 Olive to Ladue is busy. North 270 Doherty Ferry up through Manchester, and then approaching 64 to Ladue kind of slow. 55's cleared out. Downtown westbound 64 is cleared out at the Poplar, but you have delays approaching Route 4, and then it's jammed from there about midway into 158 due to that emergency repair work. I'm Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
It's going to be a hot one today. We are looking for hot, humid conditions, sunny skies with a high of 92. Real feels could top 100 right now. Sunny skies, 76 downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. A fan says he got kicked out of a St. Louis City SC soccer game for wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Can the league do that? Let's talk it over with KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris, Dow, Fisher & Young. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Megan.
So the soccer fan says he was asked to leave Energizer Park by security because he was wearing that hat. The stadium says it was a violation of MLS Code of Conduct. The Missouri AG is actually looking into it. What do you think? Are they within their legal rights to ask him to leave?
Well, there's several issues here. And of course, as you mentioned, the primary one is legal. Now, Energizer Park is privately owned. City SC is privately owned. And I don't see any criminal violations at all when it comes to dictating or specifying what people can or cannot wear, even if it's politically one-sided. Now, obviously, from a policy standpoint, this may be somewhat problematic for ejecting him because, number one, you risk messing with your fan base, and also there were pride flags being flown, so there does appear to be some inconsistency. But legally, private property owners can do what they wish.
So, I'm really curious if there's no, for example, free speech implications here. I mean, it is, we consider it like a public venue. You're inviting the public into it.
You're exactly right. But there are no free speech. Now, there might be some free speech issues in other ballparks that are built with tax dollars or with federal or state money. But in this instance, it was a completely privately funded, privately owned facility. And at that point, the First Amendment doesn't apply on privately owned property.
All right. On to our next topic. This will probably take us a while. So as we know, Texas Democrats left their state. They're trying to stop a vote on new congressional maps that they say will give Republicans too much power in midterm elections in that state. And Illinois is one of the states that they've gone to. The big question is, can they be forced to return to Texas?
Well, let's break this down, Megan. First of all, there are warrants issued from Texas, but those warrants are civil warrants, not criminal warrants. What's the difference? A civil warrant is one that's issued to compel attendance, to say to the legislators, you're required to be in session, you're not, we're going to come and bring you back to this session. That's different than a criminal warrant that is issued that is designed really to take someone to jail. So in this instance, they could be compelled, but only to a certain extent, Megan, because the only force that Texas has, because they can't go and arrest, Texas officials can't arrest these Democrats in Illinois or New York or wherever else they are. All they can do is issue fines. Now, the Supreme Court has held a few years ago that this is a legal maneuver to issue fines, and legislators cannot pay those fines out of campaign funds. It has to be paid out of their private funds. But the only way that Texas has to compel this attendance is through the civil warrant and for fines for failing to appear.
Now, beyond what Texas can do, as you may know, President Donald Trump has said the FBI may have to get involved to locate those Texas Democrats. Would the FBI have the authority to do anything in this case?
Boy, that's a great big question mark, Megan, and let me tell you why. Typically, the FBI has jurisdiction in federal crimes or at the request of local authorities to investigate local crimes. There's really no precedent for the FBI being used to serve or to investigate civil warrants. That's never been done. Now, there is internal rules and regulations at the FBI that prohibits Department of Justice members from investigations based upon political motivations. But in this instance, since there are civil warrants out there, it's a very big question mark as to whether and to what extent the FBI could get involved with this.
Let's take a step back for people to better understand this redistricting process. Is it different in every state, Brad, how these congressional lines are drawn?
The process is the same, but the results are different. Let me explain that. You have a lot of states who do enormous amounts of what's called gerrymandering. That's a term that goes back to the early 1800s, where you get these ridiculous looking districts that are done for political reasons. Illinois has some ridiculous looking districts, as does California and New York, but then again, so do Texas. And what you see here is in states that are primarily one party governed, you get these districts that look rather ridiculous for political purposes. Now, federally, the Supreme Court has held on numerous occasions, both under the 14th Amendment and the Voting Rights Act, that districts cannot be carved up along racial lines. You cannot have racially motivated redistricting rules. It has to be politically motivated. And that's always the question when these redistricting situations are challenged about whether they are politically motivated or racially motivated.
All right, something we'll keep watching. And I live in a ridiculously drawn district in Illinois. So I'll have to show the map to you sometime.
There's a lot of that, and that's why it's called gerrymandering, which I think it makes me laugh every time, because originally it looked like a salamander done by a man named Elbridge Gerry. And so, we think these words like benefer are only recently created, but gerrymandering goes back to the early 1800s.
And I think I've been covering it as long as I've been a reporter.
Yes,
right.
And it's never going away.
No, probably not. All right, KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, thank you so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure, Megan.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1242. That's 800-275-1242.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Almost a year ago, the first of its kind nature school opened in central Missouri. Missouri Net's Elisa Nelson talks to the State Department of Conservation's Education Branch Chief Margie Vandeven, who says the Boone County Nature School gets middle schoolers excited about learning.
The Boone County Nature School is a really great partnership. I think that's the best way I would describe it. A great opportunity where the community in Columbia, the Columbia Public Schools, and the Department of Conservation came together to provide this fantastic opportunity for students in Boone County. And I say Boone County over and over again because this is not just Columbia Public Schools. This is reaching all school districts in Boone County with the intent that fifth graders would be able to come to a facility and have place-based learning at least 3 times a year. And there's some real thinking behind that in terms of really looking at how do the seasons change, what is the impact on fall, winter, spring, and following and developing projects at the start of the year that they continue throughout the school year itself.
Why fifth graders?
Well, I think that's a really great time for kids to it's where the standards are set in terms of science and understanding, and they're able to do a lot of their exploratory learning at that time, but they're still young enough to get really interested and engaged in that those early learning processes, and then moving on into their next phase into middle school.
Is the vision of the department to maybe someday expand that to other grades?
Well, the department has curriculum for all grades. I think that's an important thing to mention. I'm not sure how many people know that, but we do have a full Discover Nature School curriculum that is in the middle of going through some pretty significant revisions. Just recently launched our kindergarten, first grade, and second grade curriculum that I think is pretty exciting. It aligns fully to the Missouri learning standards, to those next generation science standards. It's written by Missouri teachers about what's happening in Missouri. And I think that's what makes it so exciting, is that it takes those science standards and applies Missouri context to each of those standards.
So what all do they learn while they're there? You talked about the seasons. Can you talk about some of this?
Well, a couple of things. So there's a lot of hands-on learning that can take place there. So when you go by, you might see kids that are fishing, or they might be hiking, or they might be exploring. You've seen some activities where they're banding birds and being able to trace and follow what's happening. There's just a lot of great activity. When you're talking about some of the curriculum aspects, I'll say that the part that I was able to personally observe was when these fifth graders were reporting on sustainability projects. And so walking in at the beginning of the school year, they identify what are some problems we want to solve, and how do we track that and work that throughout the school year. So, for example, the impact of plastics and recycling, and just being very conscious of what's happening in our surroundings is really important. But to be able to identify all the incredible opportunities that exist, again, that's where the outdoors come into play. And when you're starting to see kids out, like I said earlier, charting the water temperature, or following specific species, looking at how they're impacted the pollinator plots, or following the bird activity and where the birds are traveling, that sort of thing. All very, very exciting for these students.
You could probably spend all year there and learn something every single day and all year long. So, and
I think that's the part that gives me a lot of excitement is watching how excited kids get about learning. I was just attending an education meeting last week where one of the presenters talked about the disengaged teenager. And so we talk about how to get kids involved in play and in learning at a very early age, preschool, for example, but then kind of tracing it all the way through high school. And basically what this presenter talked about was the disengaged teen, and how if you can picture a little quadrant for me, which I know is hard to do, but they talked about you really want to promote student agency to get students to think about their own learning, to track where their strengths and where their weaknesses are and how they're going to improve, and really asking that basic question of what problem do you want to solve, again, so that's on that student agency trajectory. And then also on student engagement, which is, I'm excited about learning. I want to learn about this. And so the quadrant that the shift in education is going towards is, in the past, we might have focused a little more on very, very heavily skewed towards what she called the achiever, and making sure that we're doing well in our academic performance. Adding that student agency to it, place it to that achievement. So not backing off on that need to, have some high achievement there, but placing it up a little bit higher on the student agency side puts them in what she identified as explorer mode, which is almost exactly how these MDC curriculum units are put together. Is that how do we help our students start to see themselves as explorers and getting very engaged and excited about what they're learning, but then also, again, being able to, predict or to be able to try to solve really serious issues.
That is Margie Vandeven. She is with the Missouri Department of Conservation talking to Missouri Net's Elisa Nelson.
We're learning more about the car fires that were set in Clayton this week. We'll discuss that. Also, it is the 80th anniversary of the bombing in Hiroshima, and an author of a new book about a football game that took place at Ground Zero just months later. Greg Mitchell will be on the show. John Rooney joins us to talk Cardinals. The Chris and Amy Show gets started right after the news on KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is